Welcome back to the NutriPsych podcast. I'm Helen and I'm a nutrition consultant specializing in helping women stop yo-yo dieting, emotional eating, and binge eating. Over the last few years, I've had the privilege to help women in their weight loss journey and guide them to stop these different forms of overeating behavior. And one thing that I've noticed is that they often get in their own way when it comes to losing weight and changing their behavioral patterns. Like they don't believe they can do it. They often self-sabotage, but until they learn how to overcome self-sabotaging behavior and thinking, they'll still stay stuck. Self-sabotaging behavior can come in many different forms, but often they stem from negative beliefs and thoughts patterns. One of the most common mindset issues that leads to self-sabotage is a lack of self-belief. When we don't believe in ourselves, we may find it difficult to stick to our habits that we want to create, and may even actively undermine our progress. Another common mindset issue is black and white thinking, which can lead us to view food choices as either good or bad, and feel guilty for indulging in something we deem bad. This can set off a cycle of shame and self-sabotage, all-or-nothing behavior, where someone feels like they need to be perfect in their eating habits and then completely give up when they slip up. Another mindset issue that leads to self-sabotage is the belief that one bite won't hurt. This kind of thinking can lead to overindulgence and a lack of accountability, as we may tell ourselves that we can have just one treat and then find ourselves unable to stop. And the belief that one bite won't hurt can lead to a slippery slope of continued indulgence and overeating. Coupled with black and white thinking, this is a recipe for disaster. Because once you start, pretty much your whole day is ruined because you tell yourself you'll start again tomorrow. But the truth is, you don't have to continue this pattern. You can just notice it and stop right there and then. Living a self-fulfilling prophecy can be a form of self-sabotage when it comes to weight loss. When we have a belief that we are not capable of achieving a goal, such as losing weight, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. We may begin to take actions that align with this belief, such as overeating and skipping workouts, which then confirms our belief that we can't succeed. This cycle can be difficult to break, but it's important to recognize that our thoughts and beliefs are not always accurate or helpful. For example, if someone believes that they are just not meant to be thin or that they'll never be able to stick to a healthy eating plan, they may unconsciously sabotage their efforts to lose weight. They might skip a workout or indulge in unhealthy foods and then feel defeated when they don't see progress. However, with some mindset shifts and a focus on self-belief, they can break the cycle of self-sabotage and achieve their weight loss goals. This I have first-hand experience. When I was always dieting, I never went past day 3. I believed that I could never go past day 3, and I either didn't even reach day 3 or I always failed on day 3. It was a bit of a chicken and egg situation. I had the belief that I could never go past day 3 because I would always be overwhelmed by the hunger and cravings. And so based on those experiences in the past, I never believed that I could actually succeed. Not surprisingly, after these failed attempts, I started to believe that I would always fail by the end of day 3, and I did. So what I'm trying to say is, I've been living in this self-fulfilling prophecy, and my mindset had a lot to do with this for sure. Another common one is procrastination and not taking action, even though we know what to do. We keep putting off taking action. This could come in different forms, like perhaps making excuses. Often, people will make excuses for not eating healthy or exercising. Common excuses include, I'm too tired, busy, or stressed out. It's too hard. It's my friend's birthday, so I must have cake. My parents make it, so I have to eat it. I have a slow metabolism. I'll never lose weight, or my body is different. However, None of these excuses are factually true. The reality is that making choices that are more aligned with your goals and exercising can benefit everyone, regardless of your circumstances. By giving in to these self-sabotaging excuses, you're hindering your progress towards your weight loss goals. Emotional eating is also a common form of self-sabotage, as we may use food to cope with difficult emotions or situations, rather than dealing with them directly. By becoming aware of these patterns and thinking behavior, we can begin to challenge them and make progress towards our goals. Building self-belief, practicing moderation and self-compassion, and developing healthier coping mechanisms can all help overcome self-sabotage and support long-term weight loss success. The good news is, mindset is just like habit and is possible to change. As with anything that you want to change, any habits, you need awareness. You need to know exactly what you're doing that's not serving you. If you don't know what you want to change, you can't change it. This could be identifying the train of thoughts that always derail you, like the excuses I mentioned, the behavioral patterns like black and white thinking. Then the second step is to identify other possible thoughts, other possible beliefs, and other behavior that are more aligned with your goals. Once you have these alternatives identified, you can build your own preventive plans. When you pinpoint the behavioral patterns you want to break, create a plan for how you'll address them. In the Stop Binge Eating program, we place a huge emphasis on coming up with and building in preventive measures for each of my clients' own triggers and danger zones. Whether these are behavioral patterns like nighttime eating, or constantly picking at food, or more mindset-based like negative self-talk, making excuses, or having black and white thinking. A very common reason for self-sabotage is anxiety and fear, which lead you to resist change, to resist moving towards your goals. So even if you've got a plan in place, make sure you break them down into smaller action steps and have support and accountability in place to propel you forward. Here's an example of some things you could do to overcome self-sabotage. Jenny is a graduate of the Stop Binge Eating program. She had tried countless diets and exercise programs in the 20 years that she was trying to lose weight, but none of them seemed to work for her. Her biggest problems were emotional eating and lacking self-belief. When Jenny first came to me, she was feeling pretty defeated and hopeless about what's possible. She believed that she was just destined to be overweight and that nothing would ever work for her. She also had a lot of limiting beliefs about herself, such as having no willpower and that she wasn't strong enough to make changes. In the Stop Binge Eating program, not only did Jenny learn to recognize what her body and mind actually needed when she wanted to eat for emotions and satisfy those needs without using food as an emotional crutch, but she also found the lessons on overcoming self-sabotage and self-beliefs the most useful. Using cognitive behavioral therapy techniques, we realized that there were patterns to her behavior and thinking style, and we practiced not jumping to the conclusions that she usually led herself to believe. One of the biggest breakthroughs for Jenny was learning to anticipate obstacles and plan ahead so that she felt in control and well-equipped, well-prepared to tackle them. For example, in the past, she often self-sabotaged when she didn't have a plan in place for dealing with stressful situations or unexpected events. By working together to create a plan for each of those emotions and situations, she was able to stay on track. Another important factor in Jenny's success was learning to reframe her thinking around food and exercise. She had always seen healthy eating and exercise as a punishment or a chore, but we worked on shifting her mindset to view them as acts of self-love and self-care. She no longer gave herself excuses or come up with different reasons why she should reward herself with food. Through our work together, Jenny finally lost weight without dieting or feeling deprived. More importantly, She developed a newfound sense of confidence and self-belief that allowed her to overcome her self-sabotaging behavior and making lasting changes in her life. And because she's addressed deeper issues like self-sabotaging behavior and her mindset, these skills are long-term, so she doesn't need to worry about willpower or self-control, which are just different ways to deprive yourself. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, your thinking pattern is just like your habits, something that is hardwired and automatic in your brain. Your thoughts become your action. So by learning to change these thinking patterns, the driving forces for your habits like your eating also change, making your success long-lasting. If you find yourself engaging in behavior or stuck with mindsets or habits that are no longer serving you, that are not aligned with your goals, I invite you to join us in the Stop Binge Eating program, where I guide you step by step on how you can break these thinking and behavioral patterns and implement preventive measures that allow you to preempt and prevent your triggers from derailing you. You can check out the Stop Binge Eating program at helenwong.co.uk/SBEP. The Stop Binge Eating program is not another diet. It addresses deeper, more underlying issues that drives you to sabotage your own progress, thoughts and emotions and unmet needs that lead you to overeating, thinking styles that are keeping you stuck, and you build new habits that are more sustainable and support your long-term goals. And the best part is, you don't need willpower or self-control, because you're working on creating habits that are automatic and second nature. And ultimately, we are all creatures of habits. So by changing your habits, your results stick. Once again, you can check out the Stop Binge Eating program at helenwong.co.uk/SBEP. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Dive into the show notes for this episode at helenwong.co.uk/nutrition resources. If you've enjoyed this episode of the NutriPsych podcast, I invite you to check out the Stop Binge Eating program, which gives you access to a proven step-by-step roadmap with key strategies and skills that guide you from struggling with yo-yo dieting, emotional eating, and binge eating to achieving permanent weight loss. Check out the Stop Binge Eating program at helenwong.co.uk/SBEP.